Hi, everybody. Just letting everyone in. Let me go ahead and jump into the attendance check right here, which is basically put the little cat smile into the chat. Let me just double check who's here. Okay, we got some smiles there. Yes. Let me just double check who's here. Great, great. Good. All right. So yeah. So let me just never mind. We're gonna admit one more here. All right, everyone, our little check-in question there is putting a little cat smile. I don't know what you really call that. It's like a cute sign. It's like so cute seeing everyone put that in or attempt to put that in. Okay. So welcome everyone. Let me go ahead and double check who I don't have here. And if you're friends with them, if y'all can just send them a text to come into class so they're not marked absent. But here's who I don't have. I don't have Kaylin with a C. I don't have Fernanda. I don't have Grecia. So those are the three that I don't have right now. It's Kaylin with a C, Fernanda, and Grecia. So if you're friends with them, if you don't mind sending them a text, because I mean, I don't know if it's a little confusing that today fourth period is at 11. So just double checking on that. Go ahead and update the attendance here. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and begin. All right, y'all. So here's our agenda. We're going to be doing posters. I kind of mentioned it on our first day, but we're going to be doing kind of a poster. It's going to be like a virtual poster. I'll explain how that looks like. But first, what I'll have you do is independently process the problem. So for sure, for me, the independent, first you look at it on your own first, super important because some of us just need more time to individually process what we're being asked to do and stuff before we jump into groups. I'll go over the instructions plus any questions that you have. Then we'll be going back into our breakout groups and we'll be trying to complete the poster. The poster is due at the end of the class and it will be worth, a good chunk of grade. So we want to make sure that we do that today. Then we're going to come together and I'm going to synthesize it. So remember though, this is like an entry task. That means you don't have to be stressing about being right. Right now, this is about getting your ideas kind of like on a poster. Asynchronous number one feedback. So I think there's a few of you who submitted incomplete work for asynchronous number one. So I'm kind of deciding to extend that to midnight tonight. So it was due today, I think at 10 a.m., but I'm going to extend that to midnight. The reason why I made it due at 10 a.m. is because I wanted you to try out drawing on this PDF stuff that we're going to be doing today. So that's why I made it due before class. But again, I'm going to extend asynchronous number one to midnight, especially if you submitted something that was incomplete. I don't want to mark down the first assignment. I want everyone to start off with A's. Then asynchronous number two is going to be posted Friday morning. It's due Sunday. So how it goes in my class is we usually have asynchronous do 3 times a week. It's going to be Tuesdays, Thursdays, and then Sunday. So those are the 3 times for my class that the asynchronous will be due. That's just a little bit of that. Let me check out the chat. Oh, me confusion. How do you know if it's incomplete? Okay, let me quickly talk about that then. I don't want to like, I'm not going to call out somebody, but I'm just going to go to the assignment. Let me go to the instructions. So basically what had happened is a lot of you did the first one where you submitted the screenshot and you showed me that you could draw on the PDF. That's all great and cool. But like a few of you kind of did not answer. Like for example, part A, I need you to sketch a graph and to include a picture. Part B, I need you to put the table. And then part C, I need you to sketch another graph. This one's distance versus time. The first graph was velocity versus time that you're asked to draw. Then like for some reason this got tacked on there and some of you were confused. Can you all ignore this? This was like from an old assignment. I don't know why that's down there. So that's just a little bit of feedback. So all you got to do is number 1, number 2A, 2B, and 2C. A and C, I need you to insert a picture of your graphs. So that's just what I mean by complete, fully complete. I hope that clarifies that. Okay, awesome. Let me know if anyone has any other questions. I'm gonna extend the deadline to midnight tonight. So yeah. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and take a look at what is that poster problem that we'll be doing today, which is this one right here. So this is gonna be a poster problem, so don't be like, oh my goodness, this looks so overwhelming. Go ahead, take your time, read the problems. It's number 1, number 2, and if your group has time, you'll be doing number 3. But go ahead for 8 minutes. I want you to get some paper, pencil, and I want you to try to answer these problems. Y'all can go ahead and get started. I'll just read it right now, and then I'll start the timer. So this graph, number 1, shows a graph showing the speed of a truck. Let me just underline that. Speed of a truck. Oh my gosh, that's horrible. Hold on. Speed of a truck, and it says in miles per hour. Always circle your units when you're reading stuff, and also verify that. Okay, that means the Y is miles per hour. Cool. And it's showing us over a 6-hour period. Yeah, from 6, maybe let's say that's 6 a.m. to like 12 a.m. Sorry, 12 p.m. Then it says estimate the total distance the truck traveled during this time. So you're given speed as a y-axis, time as the hours, and then you want to explain how you figured out the total distance that the truck traveled. And boom, explain. So you want to try this out on your own. And I see something in the chat. Hold on. My power. Okay. So do we have to write this down, or could we? You can jot down the answers. You don't have to fully copy down every single part. You can just write down your answers, because when you do your poster, that's when you want to have everything. Yeah. So you don't have to fully write it out. Oh, what we're doing right now, if you just entered in, is I kind of went over asynchronous number 1. I kind of went over like some of us turned in asynchronous number 1 kind of incomplete. So I told everyone that I'm going to extend the assignment to midnight tonight, so you could unsubmit and like resubmit it, because I don't want to mark anyone down for submitting incomplete work. Then I went over that we're going to be doing a poster problem. We're going to be joining our groups, but before that, I want to give us 8 minutes to try this out before jumping into groups. So right now we're working on these problems. I'm reading them right now, and then I'm going to start the timer. So that's what we're doing right now. And right now I just went over number 1 a bit, just read it. All right, so once you're done with number 1, and you as a person, you went ahead and jot down what are some ideas on how you would figure out the total distance that the truck right here travels. Then you'd be moving over to number 2. Number 2 is actually showing now, it's showing distance. So this is of a different truck. So it's saying it's a different truck now. Super important. It's not the same truck from number 1. and it's showing distance traveled. So now for this one, take a look. The y-axis is now distance. It's miles. It's not a rate like this one. This one's a rate. It says make and justify as many statements as you can. So as a group, you'll be making as many statements as you can about the truck's speed at various times. Then lastly, number 3, if you have time, it tells you to look back at your work and that your answers should or maybe not, right? Whatever you did, relate to the geometry of each graph. And I'll leave it up to you all to just go ahead and read the 4 instances down here. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and give you all 8 minutes of time to work on this. So again, individually process this before we jump into our groups. I'm gonna start the timer and feel free to ask me questions, don't ask me questions about how to do it because that's what you'll be doing in your groups. You'll be figuring that out. But any other clarifying questions about what we're doing right now, feel free to use the chat. All right, 8 minutes. We're in our last minute. Again, this is just for your independent time to work this out before we jump into groups.
So confused on what we're supposed to do. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. Usually, how the problems are given are open-ended. So right now, just you're not supposed to know how to do this. Is the first.
Because I look at the graphs and like the numbers don't match for me.
Are you talking about for number one and two?
For number one, how it's talking about, oh, it traveled 27 miles, and I'm like, wait, what?
It traveled 27 miles, and you're saying that doesn't make sense?
Yeah, from 64. From
Yeah, so
six.
actually that part, let me go ahead and circle that. The part you're mentioning right here, it says from 6 to 6:40, the
Yeah,
trip traveled 27 hours. So 6:40 is about here.
but that wouldn't have been 27.
How do you know? What did you do? Sorry.
Because the starting one, it was the truck started at 0, and then it got all the way up there to 60.
Remember, the 60 that it reached is a rate. It's
Oh,
not distance. So that's, yeah, so super important to differentiate what we're looking at here. So where the question here, you're trying to figure out how much did the truck travel given a rate graph.
I never learned about this.
Yeah, that's something that you'll be talking in with your group, and I'm hoping that we get some more clarity. Actually, this is going to be the main learning that we're going to be doing in Unit 1. So right now, it's okay if you don't know how to do it, because it's supposed to be an entry problem. That's what we call these. Yeah, yeah. It's a way that we've also introduced stuff in pre-calculus last year as well, where it's like you just bring out the ideas first. Um,
My teacher did the same thing, but like once again, I had told you before my situation.
mhm.
We only got like halfway through this, like the first semester before we only had one semester taught before he left. So I don't know a lot. I know like I think I know some calculus, but then again, it's like looking at this. You're talking. It's like a different graph. I'm like so confused.
Don't worry, it's okay to be confused. That's expected. This is the entry task, and this is actually supposed to lead us into what we're going to learn in this unit. So you're not supposed to know how to do this yet, but that's why we're going to put you into groups. Maybe somebody has an idea of how to do it, and then y'all are going to put all your ideas on a poster. It's not supposed to be like, oh, you got to get it right, or I'm going to mark you wrong. It's get your ideas down is the goal. And I'm hoping that helps a bit to understand the process.
Okay.
Yep. So no stress about like right now, like, oh, this looks confusing, because by the end of the unit, we should know how to kind of do it. But that's after we learn it. So y'all, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the instructions, plus any questions you have about what we're supposed to be doing in our groups. Instructions are posted on Google Classroom, so if you all can go ahead and open up the instructions. Make sure that you understand the group instructions to work together, and I highlighted together. Um, and make sure that everybody has their defined role, so we're not confused about who's supposed to share the screen, who's supposed to be the one reminding us about the time, right? They're all there. It's whatever y'all decided before, because you're going to be in the same groups. And who's responsible to making sure that we're being facilitated. There should be someone checking in with everyone. That's the facilitator, making sure like, hey, you got this, you got this. You should be, actively facilitating. And then task manager, again, reminding people of the time. But everyone should be doing math. You're not just one person doing the math. We're all doing math, but we also have these roles. So just keep that in mind before you jump into your groups. So let me go to our Google Classroom. So here are the instructions. I'd like you to go ahead and take about 2 minutes, look through it, and then I'm gonna go ahead and go over it with you, and then we'll go over some questions. Take some 2 minutes right here to look at this. Click through anything you need to look at. All right. So hopefully y'all had some time to like read through the generality of this. I'm gonna go ahead and walk us through it. So your job is you're going to complete your group's portion of the slide. So for example, if you click through the slide deck that I have here, I went ahead and on the first slide, I put the problem. And then I put the groups there. And basically that's going to be your poster that you're going to put in. Now, you could also use more than one slide. So if you need to add a slide, you can go ahead and add a slide. I hope everyone has access to add a slide. If not, just let me know. Like if one slide is not enough for your little virtual poster. After that, right, that's the slide that you'll be reporting your work on. Take about 1 minute to just review your roles. Don't take longer than this because we already decided, right, on the previous day who's doing what. Make sure that's clear. This right here actually was part of the homework assignment. So for asynchronous number 1, I asked you all to upload a PDF and demonstrate to me that you know how to edit on the PDF. That's what I'd like to see on your posters. You're going to go ahead and annotate the graphs and try to show us what your group came up with, whatever it is they came up with. But I put this in here again, just in case if your group needs it, go ahead and review it. And I put about 5 minutes for this portion. If your whole group already knows how to do it, you can skip step 2. You're going to start to discuss, justify your answers with your group about the problem. I gave some tasks for the reporter, facilitator, and task manager. I also put a teacher sampler here, y'all. So I actually did this with teachers, the same kind of activity, but with a different problem. So basically, they gave us this problem here about modeling the way an astronaut jumps. And when I first saw this problem, I first had a lot of anxiety because I'm like, I don't know any physics, and I've been a while since I do physics, but I know this has some math because it has a rate here, like feet per second, and it has a different style of rate, feet per second here over here. So I'm like, I had some anxiety. So it's okay to feel anxiety. But when we work together with a group, we were able to come up with something. This was another group, but I'm right here. If you scroll down, that was a screenshot of our group. I was working with Miss Lauren and Ellen, Miss Smrekar, for those who know those teachers, and then 2 other teachers. So notice that our group, though, we kind of made like bullet points. Other groups had like more math, right? So in your poster, you're free to do it however you want. If bullet points helps, that's cool. If showing much more math work helps, that's awesome. But this is a sampler, just letting you know that I went through this experience and it's okay to have that initial anxiety, but we just put out our ideas as a group. So that's just a little teacher sampler for you. That's just there for your resource to take a look at that. But otherwise, you'll be given some time to go ahead and complete the answers to the questions to the best that you can. Then I'll try to bring us back together at the end to just synthesize the main goals, the activities, so forth. The last part of this is feedback Padlet. Now let me be completely transparent with you. I am so used to writing notes and or jotting down feedback on my little notebook that it's going to be a little bit like, this is new for me. It's going to be a little bit hard for me to jot down notes here and, you know, publicly and so forth, and kind of like trying to word the best way to give feedback. It's going to be a challenge, but I'm going to try my best to do this part. If not, I'm going to use my notebook as well, and I'll just read it to y'all at the end. So use the feedback. You could check out the Padlet to see if I'm writing any feedback for your group as well. All right, so that's in general what you'll be doing with your group. Does anyone have any questions about the group activity before we jump in? Just giving some wait time.
And we're just supposed to like jot down ideas on it, right?
Yeah, ideas, and try your best as a group to try to come up with an answer to the best that you can.
Okay.
Do we have to turn this in?
Basically the turning in of it is I have access to the slides, so I'm able to just access it. Like whoever did what, I'm able to see it. So you don't have to turn it in, if that makes sense, because I already have it. Great questions, everybody. All right. So my look for is I will be popping into groups again. If I'm popping into groups, I can't give you answers. I'm just gonna be there to mostly observe so I could give feedback. My look for is though, please be on task. Use the time approximation that are on that sheet to try to kind of cut down some time. I am expecting to see group sharing and interactions. So if you know that you're someone who usually is stepped back and you don't participate, please encourage yourselves to step forward and participate. Try to add a few things to help your group out, please. Um, while in your groups, cameras are best to be turned on to facilitate conversation and body language. That's just a tip, it's not required. Complete the task to the best that your group can. As long as you're all on task and on it, I could see everyone participating. There's going to be a, an easy A. Like I said, it's not about correctness, it's about our group work right now. And then again, try to check out the feedback palette. And again, I'm still learning how to work on that. All right, y'all, let me go ahead and start doing the groups. I have to stop share in order to do this. And I'm gonna turn off my camera because I make funny faces when I'm concentrating. So hold on, let's do this. All right, everyone, you should receive a message now about joining. Hi, Rosa, did you receive an invite?
Something.
Yeah, so
My bad.
oh, there you go. So basically we already know how to annotate. Sophia, you're sharing your screen, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then
We just joined the
who
slide.
yeah, so this yeah, sure. So that's the image and then the slides. So right now what we have to do is we have to talk about what we saw on the graphs. Viviana, can you go first?
Sure. I was kind of confused by the graphs, to be honest, because they're supposed to be. Oh wait. Oh, we're looking at the freeway fatalities one.
Or I think it's the same graph, it just doesn't have all like the long paragraphs before it.
Oh, okay. Because I thought it was two separate graphs.
I think actually, Mr. Dono, is it both graphs or just which one?
Both graphs as in that you're supposed to do. or as in both graphs like are related.
Like as in when we create this poster, is it about the first or second graph or
So
both?
there's three questions on it. Number one's question is find the distance the trucks traveled, which is the first graph. The second problem is about a different graph, which if you scroll down, you'll see. Now that's a different truck. And this one is giving you distance, and you're trying to write down all that you can about its speed at various times.
So is for the poster, do we talk about all three questions then?
That's correct. And if you don't get to number 3, it's okay. I think as long as we get to 1 and 2, that's all right.
Is there a way that we can see the three questions again that you
Yes.
showed us earlier?
If we go ahead and maybe somebody whoever's projecting, if you go to the slides that you're supposed to create your poster on. Yeah, and if you go to the first slide, you have the questions.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Awesome.
Sorry, Viviana, you were saying?
Oh, okay. So since the first one is the distance traveled, it's over a period of 6 hours, right? And then I don't know how to.
Mr. Dano, I had a question. So, where is the slides that we have to like answer the questions and stuff?
Okay, let me go ahead and share my screen. Sure. And who's sharing the screen for this group?
I think I am.
Okay. Right here, group slide deck.
Oh, okay.
And then when you click on the group slide deck, the questions again are there for you. Sorry, it's loading right here. Cool, cool. Any other questions? Are you guys all right?
I think that was all. I was just looking for the slides.
Okay, cool. Does everyone know what their roles are for this time in this group? Okay, Roxana, do you know your role for this group?
I guess I'm the facilitator or the recorder, something like that.
Okay. Great, great. And there's someone with a blank screen. Who's this? Is this Kaylin? Kaylin, do you know your role? Kaylin with a C. Do you know your role? C? Who's the blank screen? I can't see the names. Okay, Kaylin with a C. I'm sorry. Do you know your role?
Facilitator, right?
Facilitator. Okay, so make sure that you ask, clarifying questions, ask people to share, and so forth. And then Stormy, what's your role?
I think I was the task manager. I don't remember.
Task manager. Okay, so just reminding your group about the timing. I'm trying to see who's in the blank screen, y'all, in this group. There's like
It's me, Evie.
Oh, Evie. And what's your?
Yeah. I think I'm resource manager.
All right. Okay. So usually resource manager is the one sharing the screen. Right now Roxana's sharing, so up to you guys if you're okay with that. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and pop into another group. Good luck, y'all. Hi, Tamara.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, right now the groups are in, they're in groups.
Okay.
How do I make you a host so that you could kind of like move into groups and stuff?
Okay.
How do you do that?
If you click on participants and like click on somebody's name and it says more.
Got you. I got it now. There we go.
Okay.
So yeah,
Cool.
feel free to break into rooms.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I am right now. I'm struggling with a group. I think it's group 1, but I went in there and kind of was just trying to prompt them to get started.
Okay. Where's their link to their stuff?
Oh, the link to what they're doing. Let me get that for you. and it's a little bit hard tomorrow. I don't know if I'm be able to bring them in.
Mhm.
We initially planned because we took some time explaining it. So that's the slides.
Okay.
And let me get you the directions. So
Okay.
those are the slides, and then the directions are coming up.
So these are just, this is the slides that the kids are using?
Yeah, that they'll be putting their virtual posters on.
Okay. This is all I need.
All
I
right.
can look at the directions later. Okay.
All right.
Cool.
I'm just going into rooms, checking in to see if anyone has clarifying questions.
Okay.
Right.
You may want to do a broadcast like about group whoever's on slide 2.
Oh yeah, what's
And just,
happening on slide 2?
there's a whole bunch of dope work happening already. So you may want to do a broadcast like, hey, looks like slide whoever that group is.
Okay.
Is
Shoot.
that the example or is that a group?
Oh no, that's an example.
Oh, okay.
That's the problem. I just put that there so that
Okay.
have it. Yeah.
The graph showing the speed of a track. Okay. All right. Okay.
All right. I'm gonna join some groups.
Okay.
You said for
Like just separate the curves and then find like divide them. Like for this one, it looks like it's just half and half, so we could do like 30.
okay, so it's because what's the x-axis? That's the hours.
Yeah.
You said 6.
But
Like from 6 to these 20 to the first dot is 25 minutes.
Okay.
I mean not 25. That's is it? Yeah, 25. And then this would be the first 25 minutes. Oh shoot. This right here, this little curve, and it looks like it doesn't look all the way equal, these two sides, but I guess we could like divide it by 2, and then we would get 30 miles per 25 for these 25 minutes.
Okay, so you said
but sorry, I think that was like 30 miles per hour, but that's not like the amount it went for that certain time. Like from 6 to 7, we had to find like how fast it was going, not how long it went for. I don't know if you understood that. Like is it saying
That's why
the total?
after we find that it was going for these 25 minutes, it was going for only for it was going 30 miles. That means it went. Oh, you're right. I don't know, man. This is hard.
Also, I also wonder because there's a lot of pointings and stuff like
Can't hear you.
explanations. I was just wondering like if it would help because I saw a lot of like pointing to the graphs. Whoever, I think that was Edgar doing that, and then James, you were like kind of saying like, oh wait, if it helps to already put this on a PDF and start marking it, that way you can just have something to plop in your slide.
All right, yeah.
That way it's like you just have some ideas because right now what I heard, juicy ideas that want to go onto the poster. Anything. So even if you guys are like, oh wait, that's wrong, that's okay. And if you go back to the, Unit 1 poster instructions, actually, if you go to the top of the tab there, where it says Unit 1 poster, the PDF is there where it says lesson 1.1. A. It's easier to just upload that PDF and then draw on it. So once you have that downloaded, uploaded, and then you can draw. All right, y'all, I'm gonna pop out. Great job so far.
Repeat it one more time.
From 7:20 to 8:40, there was she said there was a miles per hour decrease.
10-mile decrease.
10 mile?
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay. Hold on, I'm sorry.
This is what we beat Kit, JK. Just kidding. What? Oh my god, teacher's right here.
Okay.
Oh, and then okay, well, she's not here, but he's right, write this down. And
Okay,
then
I'm back.
from what seems to be from 8:40, well, if we're gonna be correct, from 8:40 to 9, the vehicle had seemed to stop because then it went back to 0.
Yeah. Yeah.
So from 8:40 to 9, the car seems to stop.
Yeah. To 9.
Tamira, are you unable to join?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, I can't interact. So
No.
you can just send me. Okay.
You
Oh,
can-
here it is. Hold on.
You want to do that because I was already interacting. If you want to, because we're in the
Oh,
last 9 minutes.
what'd you say?
We're in the last 9 minutes of
Mhm.
class. I mean,
Mhm.
made you host, but I wouldn't know how to, like, in the last few minutes kind of bring together groups.
Okay.
Also, another thing is, like, a lot of groups are getting started, but I feel like they need
Mhm.
time on this. And I was
Mhm.
wondering, like, if I should give them another class time for it, or what you would think about this.
Yeah, if they haven't, I would try to get them to work on it asynchronously.
Okay, so if they haven't, just go ahead and, as a group, work on it asynchronously.
Mhm.
Okay,
If possible.
possible.
Mhm.
Okay, that could be a thing.
Um.
Do you want to put into groups, or do you want me to just I'll just have this recorded and show you what's happening?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that works. Because I don't want to, like, I haven't been introduced to the kids or anything like that, so I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? They're like, who are you and why are you just sitting up in here?
Right.
So I would rather have, like, so they know who I am before, especially right now when they're just kind of, looks like, they might be having a little bit. How are they doing okay in the groups or?
So far so good. They're discussing.
Okay.
So
Well, if that's the case, then I can just, I can do that. I can do some breakout. I can go in there.
Oh, like right now?
Mm-hmm.
I think only like 8 minutes.
Are you going to bring them back?
Yeah, in the last.
Okay.
But I mean, yeah, in the last few minutes. But
okay, well, I'll just relax here and I'll just look at how you bring them back and see what happens. Okay.
You let me host again though, because it's a little bit. Yeah, I feel like a little bit messy about it. Like
okay.
All so much to keep track of.
All right, so I made you the host.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. Let me go ahead and let them know.
Okay.
Three. Okay, so what do you guys think is it's showing those two numbers?
We got an answer in the chat. The incline, and then IDK. Where are we in this group, by the way, everyone? Where are we in this group currently?
So we're trying to answer the question, but I guess we can't.
And we're looking at number 3.
Well, sorry, number 3. I didn't. Number 1.
Okay. Then Evie put we're confused. Let me know what y'all are confused about, and I'm happy to answer some stuff. So I guess as a first step, I would just focus on number 1. Like how, like if you're giving the speed of a truck, like how fast it's going over time, how would you try to figure out the distance that it covered? Like for example, because this is chunked up into 3 parts, like from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., let's say the first 20 minutes, so that's at 6:20, how would you know how far the truck traveled? Oh, Uh-oh. I think Roxana probably got cut out. Oh no. I don't know what happened. But yeah, for the rest of the group, I think Roxana just got probably an internet issue, but just focusing on the first question, I'm gonna bring us back super soon. So it's okay if we didn't get started on the poster because I'll let y'all know what's gonna happen in a bit. Yeah, that's weird. We got a lot of people left the group. I'll be back, y'all.
And then it's
And then
split up
split-
now.
After you split it up, just screenshot it and put it in there, and then we'll just say what we were saying earlier about the second graph. By the way, Viviana, did you have anything else on the second graph?
On the second one, no. Like for observations or for like the area.
Just observations and maybe area, whatever you did have.
Hi, y'all. So we have 3 people in here. So wait, are we talking like guess on the problems? So yeah, Evie, remember like last year in pre-calculus where you were like in a group and sometimes I gave you an open-ended problem and the point of it was to get ideas out. Once all the ideas is out, I would take some of the ideas, present it to you all, and we'd solidify the understanding and then from there kind of get a deeper understanding of what we're supposed to learn. So yeah, I don't know what happened to Kaylin and Roxana. I'm assuming it's an internet connection, but I'll give us further directions right now on the synthesis. I'll be back, but thank you so much for trying to work on it and trying to talk about it, y'all. All right, I'm gonna bring us back, y'all. You should receive a message to return to. Hi, y'all, welcome back. I'm waiting on a few of us more to come on in. I think some of us had some internet issues and kind of got booted out. To kind of close up the activity that we did today, I kind of would like to hear, because there were some groups who got some stuff done, some groups who didn't get to yet, but if you can please just jot down what you at least talked about in your slides, like for example, group 2 and group 3, that'd be great, because I've heard conversations happening, but not all of it was getting down into the slide. I definitely want all your ideas on there. But I definitely kind of want to hear about group number 4. You all got some stuff down, kind of like if the reporter of that group or anyone in the group, if y'all can please kind of share what's happening here on your graph. Let's see, we have something in the chat. No, Sophia got kicked out. I don't know how that happened. Tell her to rejoin, but we're in our last minutes. That's okay. So group number 4, the reporter/recorder, if y'all can share with us and unmute, or anyone from that group. So for this one, Sophia, Juan, Viviana, or Shania, if y'all can go ahead and explain what's happening.
Yeah, I'll go since Juan is typing.
Great.
So, did you want us to talk about the first one or the second one?
Let's do the first and then second would be great.
Okay, so the first one, we're all kind of confused, but Sophia had the idea to like kind of break it down into shapes so we could just get like the area of that shape. So we did it from like a little past the 6
to a little past the 8, and we realized that like the points in between each represent 20 minutes. So that's why the 0.2 is down there. And then we would just like multiply it by wherever it would go up in the speed.
Question: how did you know to do the area? What is, like, I want to know about a little bit more about that. How did you know that to find the distance you needed the area?
That was Sophia's idea because we didn't know what to do, and she had kind of already started it. So
Oh, and then is Sophia not here?
yeah.
Sophia,
I think we did something like this last year, or like you had told us of a formula where the distance is equal to the speed times the time.
so that's related to that. So distance equals speed times time. And then, okay, and then kind of connecting that to areas. And I wish I could hear, and I think it was, and that this was the correct Sophia, right, that worked in this group. Yeah, okay. Cool, let's quickly hear about number 2. Who can tell me about number 2 from this group?
I can tell you about number 2.
Yes.
So for number 2, we thought it was a little easier to decipher because it was kind of just speaking on the, like, you know, the distance like traveled in like the time. So when we were doing it, we were like, oh, if you look from 8 to 9, right, it's traveling at about 50 miles per hour, and then after that it starts to kind of have a consistent travel time. So if you look at like 9 to 11, it's pretty consistent and it just kind of stays the same. So it was traveling the same speed over that time. Like it was, the traveling the same distance. So it's like always the same distance there. And so we were just kind of talking about how the distance in the second one is kind of more consistent and it's easier to figure out. And that's what we're just kind of breaking it down to see if we could figure it out more like concisely.
And how did, clarifying question for me is, how did you know that the speed is about 50 from 8 to 9? How did you know that?
Well, I just realized that was an hour, and if in 1 hour they had traveled 50 miles, and I'm like, and then it must be 50 miles per hour, or it could be something more like deeper, but we didn't get past that because we spent a lot of time trying to figure out the first one because we thought it was more complex.
Okay. And if anyone wants to jump in there about like, if they have a deeper idea onto why the first hour is 50 miles per hour, maybe related to the shape or what's going on in the graph, feel free to jump on in.
Can use the formula too, I think, because if distance is equal to speed times time, then you can make it so that speed is equal to distance divided by time.
Ooh, and distance divided by time in this particular graph is called what in math? Usually we call it something. If no one knows, that's okay. Like this right here is 50. This line right here. I hope y'all can see my mouth. Sorry, my mouse. So yes, it is related to the distance over time formula for sure. But what else does this graph have? It's another word.
All right, angle.
Angle. What's another way to say angle in math? Kind of like, it's like an angle.
Trig. I don't know.
Well, trig.
A degree.
Starts with an S, y'all. Starts with an S.
Slope.
So yes, that distance over time, right? So it went up 50 and over this much, right? Rise over run. That is the slope of your graph. So we're gonna go ahead and talk more deeply about this. Now I know that in this activity, a lot of us kind of like had trouble with the directions, and I kind of had to jump in and be like, oh, this is what we're doing. So I'm either we could finish this up asynchronously, so I'll let you know the instructions for that. Or we could see if we could spend a little bit of class time in our next synchronous to finish this up and discuss and solidify our ideas. So much good stuff came out of this, and props again to everybody, even if you didn't get stuff on your graph. But yeah, other than that, I don't want to take up any more of your time. I hope y'all have a great day. And yeah, stay by after if y'all have any questions though. Bye y'all. Thank you so much.
Bye.
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 Bye. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye y'all.